Okay. When I trust you, I know I'll be okay. There's no shame. I try to cover up with these, but there's no shame. No pain. Cannot wait to be with you where there's no pain. So till then, I'ma have faith. Living for tomorrow, celebrating my today. Hey.
Welcome to Love on the Other Side. I'm Kainiso.
I'm Tabiso.
And this is a show about two people who found love from two sides of the border. So today, our topic of today is
in sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health. And that's because recently we've experienced quite a bit of illness
in this house.
Yes. Tabi was sick first, and then the following week
you got
I
sick.
Was sick for about
you
a
were
week
kind of like
half.
Sick at the same time that I was sick.
And then Tabi got sick again.
Yeah, this is in the space of 3 weeks.
3 weeks, we went to the doctor. You, then me, then...
Yeah.
Yes, so
our doctor was worried.
Doctor paid rent. Our doctor paid rent, man. Yeah. So yes, it was quite a lot of illness, and
so during that time we got to like see different signs to each other.
Yes.
To be honest, you've seen me sick before.
Yeah.
And I think back then, like, it was more of a shock.
Yes.
So this time around,
this time around you were sick.
I was sick. Even that time in Durban, I was sick.
You were sick.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I was also really not, I was not sharp at all. So, yes, it was a lot. And if you think about it, the wedding vows, they say in sickness and in health. And we generally only hear the in health.
Yeah.
But the sickness is a dynamic that plays a part and has quite a huge impact on your marriage. So we thought, yes, we would just unpack some of the things that we experienced. So, by far, point number one there, by far, that we both observed is that we, because of our upbringings, we both understand, the way that we like to be taken care of or understand how to take care of someone is very different. You grew up with your way, and me, I grew up with my way. Yes. And now...
And your way was very interesting. It's very interesting. Right?
That's how village done, as far as I was concerned. And then your way is just like, that's not how it's done.
No.
That's,
okay.
So yes, explain your way.
My way.
What you grew up with and what you understand to be.
Yes. When someone is sick,
you
nurse them back to health. This means like if they need food, if they need a blanket, they need hot water, they need, you make sure everything is okay. Like they don't have to struggle. They already feel horrible physically.
Yes.
Mentally.
Yes.
They already feel horrible.
Yes.
So you have to be like you have to care.
Yes.
You have to if you need to hold them, then hold them. If you need to put them under a blanket, then do so. For as long as it takes until that person is fully recovered. And not be like, which is what you do. Like, it's done now. Can still be sick. Day 3, and then you are still sick. Which is what he did the first time I got sick.
Yes.
And I was just like, why are you giving me a time limit as to how long I should be sick for? Do I get to decide that?
Okay.
No.
Yes.
Like, you think that's normal? Okay, so I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Is it normal to ask someone? Why are you still sick? It's day 3. It's done now. And then my favorite one. Ungasiekeleli.
Ungasiekeleli. Guys, am I wrong?
Ungasiekelela.
Yes.
What?
Okay, all right. So it was quite a mind-bending experience, or rather, I had to shift my mentality, right? Because the way I grew up, right, and the way I understand everything that you say, you just described, it's things that I do. Don't create the impression that I'm not like, I I take care. Ne? But ne, I also know that that the amount of time that you're sick and the illness, they must have some form of correlation. You can't still be sick of like, no, my stomach is like running. Ne? If your stomach is upset for 4 days, upset, and I saw cholera. It's not like a waterborne. It's just the regular.
But that one was not for 4 days.
Just the runs.
It wasn't just the runs, but
not this time.
It wasn't just the runs. I was throwing up as well.
Not this time around.
No,
the first time.
The first time.
So you see,
which one are you talking about?
Last week we said our marriage is happy. It's happy, guys.
Papi, no. Which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about until you just said that like a person's not allowed to be sick for 3 days.
When in your head, no one is allowed to be sick for 3 days.
In my mind, your illness and the amount of time that you're out must have a correlation. The first time that you got sick, you were no longer running.
Yeah, and then after that you feel weak.
And then you felt weak.
And you lose appetite. You can't eat. You can't eat.
But like 3 days after. 2 days, 3 days after all the running.
When you're feeling weak.
I've been feeding you for 3 days. You're still feeling weak, Achaboda. So what's the job? So anyway, right? So the way I grew up, let me explain. Man, right? Me guys, I grew up in Zimbabwe, right? Which is, as you know, not exactly the easiest country in the world, right? And so we are fighters. It's just the truth of the matter is that we are fighters. We don't let things defeat us for too long. We don't stay down for too long. We just like not trying to be defeated by illness or economy or anything, really. We're not trying to be defeated by anything, right? We just learn to be like tougher. So so for me, it's not like crazy to think that, okay, I'm down with the flu, right? And I'm down for a few days and I'm back up. Oh, my stomach is like running or whatever. It runs, and then unless it's one of those serious illness,
and then what gives you the right or like the expertise to decide how long a person should be sick for? No empathy whatsoever.
It's not an infection.
No, but this is what you do now.
You're wrapped in a blanket, and put you in the sun to soak up. You're not that sick. You're not that sick to be in that blanket with the sun.
See what I deal with.
But
do you see what I deal with?
So
which brings us. No, let's talk about how you get sick first before I bring up this point.
Yes.
So like he said, he tries to be a soldier in his sickness, ne? So he'll be there in the morning just doing the most while he's sick, ne? And then later on, because he's been doing the most throughout the day, his body's now like, bruh, stop it. And then he like deflates and it's just like, oh my gosh. And then he actually feels the illness. So because he's been Superman the whole day, I leave him because he looks like he's fine. And then he starts complaining, when are you not taking care of me? But you were Superman. I get it, you were Superman. Manje, now I must like do what exactly?
You want me to sit the whole day feeling sorry for myself for being sick.
But then now when your body is complaining, now you're complaining to me. You're like, why are you not like, offering me tea and like, you want the TLC all of a sudden. What's up with that?
So you want me to just sit there?
No, that's not a...
We've got a song in Zim.
No, like keep the same energy. Like
we're sick.
Exactly.
So, and I guess this comes down to some of those things that we get taught, which maybe I will concede that I have all sorts of toxicness, from toxic masculinityness, nyana, maybe there was some toxic masculinity, nyana. And then, of course, the difficulty of where I came from. And all these kind of things kind of like mixed. Because like when I was in high school, it was like, oh no, you've got the flu. Yeah, no, you need to like walk around and be in the sun and like work as usual. The work will take out your flu. You know what I mean? Like so like it was a very big shift for us.
Yeah.
When Tabby was ill, because Tabby was ill. And then now I had to be like the softest, gentlest. You see. And I'm not exactly skilled in the softest, gentlest. And Tabby wanted to be treated like this, like, oh, yeah, do you need the you know? So it was
TC, as my mom would call it.
TC.
My mom calls it TC.
Tender loving.
TLC, guys.
Yes.
Tender loving care.
Tender loving. So yes.
Which now brings us to the point.
Which point?
Oh, the question.
Yes.
And maybe you guys will, settle this for us.
Mm.
If you're sick,
Yes.
and you call your mom, is that wrong?
I don't think it's wrong.
Like if your spouse calls their mom while sick,
No.
is it wrong?
I don't think it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's wrong. I mean, yes, that's one thing that I also discovered. We're still pretty young in our marriage.
Yeah.
And there's still a lot to learn and discover about each other.
Mm.
So yeah, there's definitely need to call the people who programmed you and
Who programmed you?
yes, and find out exactly how did you
So
wind
like
this
your
person
spouse
together?
will not feel offended that how so now your parents think I can't take care of you.
If you were to call them,
Yeah.
if you were to call my parents, and
If I called because I was sick and I
Yes.
called my parents and I
Yes.
called my mom,
yes,
would you take offense?
I wouldn't be offended.
Mm.
I think the only thing that would offend me
Mm.
is if the call is creating the impression that I'm not taking care of you at all, which is a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you call and you're like, you need to come now, and I'm right there, and you're like, you need to come now because this guy does not is doing, then it's like, bro, I'm also here though. Like I've been here. So maybe if you create that sort of impression
Yeah.
that I can't take care of you. Perhaps the only time I would concede is like, usually when people give birth, especially for the first time,
Yeah.
they will call their mothers guaranteed.
Yeah.
But I know nothing about being pregnant and pregnancy-related issues, and that makes perfect sense.
Mm.
But if you like calling, saying like creating an impression that I'm not taking care of
No,
you,
you're
when I
not
am,
creating any impression. You're just saying,
a little
Mom,
bit.
I'm seeing the most. Can you please come?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine. So yes, we did learn that we are very different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I do like your way of like taking care of a person when they're sick. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do like it. If you were to take care of me like that, I don't get sick a lot. But if you take care of me like that, it's like, it's nice. It's nice. But me as well, the Zimbabwean in me, will like when I sit down feeling sorry for myself, the Zimbabwean
You're
in
not
me
feeling
says,
sorry for
"Get up."
yourself.
It says, get up! Get up! Get up and fight! And I want to get up and be like, who are we rambling? Where are we rambling? I promise.
No,
this is
but
just,
it's not even just about where you're from. I mean, it's
yeah. Yes.
it's a normal thing to do.
No, and also as well, like I was raised also by some pretty tough people, whose life experiences when they were even younger than me were 1,000 times even harder. You know what I mean? They've experienced things.
Yeah.
I've experienced things. So they're very, very extremely tough people, very resilient people who've done things, So when you're raised by tough people, you're also going to be a tough person, and you're not going to allow like illness to dictate. They're like,
So
illness
are you
can't dictate.
gonna do that to your kids?
No, no. You know what? I'll let my kids get all gentle stuff. Yeah. But once in a while, if I see that, no, man. 3 days.
Engañizo. Do
Okay.
not do that.
No, I
Don't
won't do that.
No.
I won't do that. Comment there, down there, and tell us which one. Should a person yegelela themselves?
They're not
or just
yegeleling themselves.
Okay.
How?
Yeah. No.
You must listen to your body, guys.
Listen to your body. Respect your body.
Mm.
Yes. If you've watched the video until this point, then and you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. It's somewhere down here.
It's free.
Subscribe,
Completely free.
bell icon, and like the video if
Yeah.
you've made it this far. But yes,
Mm.
one thing that I learned is to have patience and to be gentle. Yeah, I really didn't know how much gentleness you needed, and you have to be really patient. I mean, because we're also 3 weeks, 4 weeks. That's another. Then you start to learn a different aspect that comes with illness, then, which is that there's no sex. There's no sex. There's no sex.
Do you mean to tell me that's what you were thinking about?
No, I wasn't. I never once thought, how could you even, like, the thought can't even cross your mind to be like, I want sex with a person who's like this.
No, not like that. Like, are you
But-
thinking, hey, but it's been a while.
Now that you're fine, it's catching up now. It's like, we're catching up. Yo, all those weeks. Yo, I remember. Yes. Like, I mean, so I can only imagine for people who like go through serious illness and they do months, some of them even years.
Can you imagine?
That's a real test. That's a real test of like.
Would you go through, say, like 2 years if I was maybe sick, something, and we weren't able to be intimate for like 2 years?
I mean,
which you can.
Like I always say, my vows were to God in relation to you. If my vows were to you,
Were they to me as well?
No,
Why you vowed to me, guys? So
I vowed to God about you.
No, even to me.
Yeah, even to you. Yeah, I was looking at you.
Guys, so.
But in my heart, I said, Lord, I will take care of this woman, and be with her, with sickness and health. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, I believe I'm accountable to the Lord for my vows and not to you. Because if I am accountable to you, like I said, yeah, promises are broken all the time, but vows are made to God, and you believe that God is the one who gives judgment for breaking a vow. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So yes, I would do the 2 years or 3 years or however many years.
You would?
Yes. What choice do I have? It's too late. It's too late.
I would too.
You would. Okay.
But also, I'm a sapiosexual. Is that the word?
Yes, sapiosexual. Yes.
Yes.
We are turned on by your mind. So even if
it would be 2 years worth of
what?
Tension.
2 years of tension.
Yeah, because we'd just be talking and we'd be stored up, and after 2 years,
yes, Zimbabwean.
yeah.
I can't imagine what a 2 year. Wow. Okay. Hey.
I don't know why I said that.
Yeah. So yes, like it can be challenging.
Yeah.
As well, you have to change your program, your routine, move things around, and some things have to be cancelled. You have to prioritize your spouse. You know, if they're ill, you can't really do things that you ordinarily would have done because you have to take care of your spouse, and that's part of the sacrifice. Yeah, it's a real test, this thing.
It is.
It's easy when it's for richer. It's easy when it's in health.
Yeah.
But these other ones, for poorer and in sickness, they are hard. And that's where maturity is really carved out of you. You know what I mean?
And I think it's important to communicate with your spouse how you want to be taken care of.
Yes.
Like, if you don't say it, then you'll think, because I was like, I expect him to take care of me the way my mom took care of me. But then, like, I don't know, Yena, that's how he grew up. Like, it comes up when circumstances like this happen. That's when you start talking how you raised. And then you explain, no, this is how I expect to be like taken care of.
Yeah.
And if you don't voice that out, you'll just think you're married to a monster.
You think you're married to a monster.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how you want to be taken care of. You literally have no idea. Yeah. So you're right. You have to vocalize like, no, I like to be taken care of this way. This is how I bounce back. Yeah. Me, I like to be energetic, and then when you need to come and swoop in and catch me. Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, other than that, like I will wake up and clean and just do things because I'll be in my mind saying, I'm not gonna let this thing. You must yes. Yes, yeah.
Hey, that word is so offensive. Yo.
So yes, that's some of the things that we learned. Oh, another thing before I forget. Not only does it strengthen our relationship, but surprisingly also strengthens relationship with the in-laws. It's something we don't talk about a lot.
Yeah.
But you would be amazed how much your in-laws will respect you for the way you take care of their child.
Yeah.
You know.
True.
Yes. So it's very important. There's something to also be cognizant of, you know. When you take care of your person, her family, their family will respect you more.
They see and they,
Yes, for that, you know. And even my family was all like calling, like, oh, are you okay? Are you okay? Like my dad still thinks he's sick.
Should actually call him.
And I keep telling him they're fine. But he keeps being like, yo.
Yeah.
Like in his mind, he's just like, yo, I need to check how his child is.
Yeah.
So it does actually strengthens
the relationship
between
and they I guess my parents gave you some insight to how like
yes, it was the day they came to visit and then I saw them all like tucking it in because I mean I was like the person who gives you the blanket and then maybe just puts it on top of you but I didn't know that it must be tucked in.
My dad was there with a hot water bottle. Just, you know, literally doing this.
Putting it in and then being, I would have never. In my mind, there's levels to being ill. And if you get to that level, being tagged in, I would choose asukula. Yeah, so serious. People are now visiting you, they bring you a banana. But, so I would never have, because I knew that you're not there. You know, so I wouldn't have like been all like tucking and then eating. So it was such a wonder to watch your parents doing that. And I was just like, how this is what she's grown up with. Yeah. So wow, that was an experience. So yes, this was a short video on sickness and health. Yeah. But you wouldn't believe. Just it's short, but when you go through it, it is extremely intense. And you come out the other side.
And we got to see different sides to each other.
Yes. Yeah. You come out the other side a lot stronger. You come out galvanized. Like, I don't think 15-minute YouTube can ever pay you for that. You just have to go through it with your partner. Yeah. And have faith and pray. And
you see a lot, hey?
Yes.
See vomit and...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to mop it up and...
You don't have to mop anything up.
No, I'm just saying, like, you're gonna throw up everywhere.
Yeah, but
like when I
it's different. It's different.
If it was me, I'm like, clean your own body. This one is not gonna win.
Anyway, that's it, guys. Yes. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah. Do subscribe, do like, do comment. We love your comments.
We love your comments.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the next video.
Bye.